Just one of the reasons I love interacting with this community is how so many viewers send me leads to mysteries, new web series, and internet oddities that I haven't seen. I get a lot of leads from quite a few different sources, and while a few names do appear more than once, it's rare when I have a surge of viewers suddenly all asking about the same topic. Until this week, I had never even heard of a girl named Poppy, or that Poppy, or Poppy, the girl who everybody wants to be, as some call her. It was a little jarring to suddenly be flooded with requests to explain this girl I hadn't even seen before, but a quick search for Poppy revealed why there was such an unexpected demand. Reaction videos by huge channels do tend to have kind of an earthquake effect for uncovering mysteries, even if that is an unintentional result. Upon looking into this, however, I will absolutely admit that I wish I'd found out about this before Daz Games and Pyrocynical discovered her, because you guys are right. Poppy is definitely Nightmind material, and I'm thrilled to finally know about this and have the chance to speak about it with you. If you've already heard of Poppy or taken a look at the videos on her personal channel, you'll be aware of what has everyone curious. She's a young blonde girl, very kind, quiet and innocent, who seems to be just a bit strange, you might say.
I'm Poppy. I'm Poppy. I am Poppy. I'm 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 Poppy. If it's on the internet, it's real. Do you believe in the internet? There's so many different social networks. What if I told you that there is a secret? My favorite thing about the internet is connecting. Would you like to take a selfie with me? Okay, let's do it.
Is there a reason to be concerned about this girl and perhaps a little bit disturbed? Considering that she has over 50 videos that are all like this, with some entries that seem to define normal human behavior beyond what you've already witnessed, I think you'd be justified in wondering if Poppy is okay. Even Poppy herself sometimes thinks about it.
What would it be like if you could just restart? You need to stop worrying so much. What if you could reboot yourself? Almost like a computer. I wonder what it's like to reboot. Everything's gonna be A-okay. Is it okay to think things like this? Everything's perfect. Am I gonna be okay? The internet makes sense to me. Everything in your life is perfect. What do you have to worry about? It's okay. I think everything's gonna be fine. I believe that everything's okay.
Poppy seems to be under a lot of stress that she's doing her best to hide, or may not be entirely aware of. She's got a lot of attention on her now, after all, with many people asking if she's okay. But what brought all of this attention to Poppy anyway? A channel like this would usually come across as some kind of experiment or prank and be easily dismissed. It turns out that Poppy is, first and foremost, a musician. She has a legitimate Vivo account on YouTube where she's uploaded songs from her debut EP album, Bubblebath. That EP is also available on iTunes. It's a real product. The record company representing her, Island Records, is also real, which you might have already known seeing as they're big enough to be representing Fall Out Boy, Demi Lovato, and Nick Jonas, to name only a few. Would this have been enough power to give a musician as brand new as Poppy an official Vivo account? Absolutely. It also might have been the reason that Poppy has a verified Twitter account while only having 16,000 followers. Here's where the story begins to get interesting. Unraveling the Poppy mystery means we need to head back to the source where activity began. Except that we can't actually do that because Poppy's channel and Twitter account say she's been active since 2011, but it's not possible to find any media that she's posted before 2014. Twitter claims Poppy joined in January of 2011, but her first tweet was on November 4th, 2014 of a still image from the first video on her personal channel, which was also posted on November 4th, 2014. When did the YouTube account start? October 6, 2011. And the Vivo account with Poppy as an official member of Island Records began on June 11, 2015. So we have two accounts that existed for Poppy well before she appears to have begun uploading. This can mean one of two things. Either Poppy's been active on social media since 2011 and everything prior to November 4th has been deleted, or whoever is involved set up the accounts years before they were ready to be used. No matter what the reason is, the space between account activation and use is a major red flag. Remember this, we'll be coming back to it in a moment to find out why it's so important. Let's go back to the Vivo to check out the music video for her song, Lowlife. It's the only video produced for the album. As we go through the events, keep in mind that this was the very first time Poppy was introduced as a musician. It's the first video from the first album, which is only an EP, a type of album typically used by companies to test if a musician will be accepted by the market. We begin with a gradually widening shot of Poppy on a sort of throne in a white void. In this place, she is the only thing that has any sort of color, and she's seated in front of a large triangle with a heart in the top portion. Poppy has one hand raised and one lowered, holding her fingers Wait. Look at this closely. Very closely. Do you recognize this pose? Think about it for a moment. It may look at least a little bit familiar to you. This is the very pose held by Baphomet, a pagan god adopted as a symbol of satanic power and worshipped by followers of the cult organizations. The two fingers pointing up with two folded over and the two pointing down. It's an exact mimic. And the set piece that's behind her, the triangle. People always associate triangles now with, of course, the Illuminati, to the point of it now being a joke. But if you look at the placement of the heart cutout, it's in the same position as the Eye of Providence on the dollar bill seal of the United States, again attributed to the Illuminati. People have made conspiracy theories up and down about celebrity musicians being part of the Illuminati and using symbols in their videos. But here, in Poppy's very first video, for her very first single, off of her first album, we have not just one, but two very specific signals of occult worship and influence on the same set. We also later have Poppy standing in a broken egg with Satan, holding another odd pose. I can't actually place what this one represents. If you know, add the information to the comment section below so we can begin compiling it all. During the video, we see Poppy having Satan as her dinner guest for a feast of bones, and we can get a clean shot of her sweater covered in half-closed eyes. You'll remember that the Eye of Providence is also half-closed. And in yet another shot, when Poppy wears a green dress, we see it's also covered in eyeballs. These aren't closed, they're wide open. Still, more eyes watching from every angle, from top to bottom. We can even spot them on her pantyhose. After Poppy grows tired with her dinner guest, and after flashing a clearer shot of the Baphomet pose, she heads outside, where there are fans standing in wait, all with the same picture of Poppy. She grabs a red paintbrush and runs a line down all of them, which makes them as happy as if she had actually signed them. Poppy climbs into her vehicle, where she breathes what appears to be oxygen, but may very well be a kind of drug, through a mask administered by a handler, assistant, or friend of some kind. She heads back inside and then pushes around a few men in suits who are seated in wheelchairs. These men were spotted earlier in shortcuts away from the main video, also wearing oxygen masks. As Poppy makes her way back to the set, we notice the director's chair is empty, and aside from the men in suits, there aren't any members of her production staff to shoot this video. None that are paying attention to what's happening anyway. Those pictures of Poppy with red paint laid across them come back, by the way. In the video on her main channel, Everybody is Boring, she pulls out the pictures and goes through them one by one. Around the same time of this upload, we have a series of videos with the same title, Charlotte Interviews Poppy. Charlotte is a mannequin with an auto-tuned voice, and the interviews she holds are very telling.
Hi everyone, I am Charlotte and we're here today with everyone's favorite internet girl Poppy.
Hello, Charlotte. Thank you for having me on this internet broadcast.
Poppy, why does everyone want to be just like you?
I often wonder that myself, Charlotte. I don't know why everyone wants to be someone else. Everyone should just be happy with themselves, just the way they are.
Poppy, what inspires you as an artist?
What an interesting and remarkable question that no one's ever asked me before. Lately, I'm inspired by many things. Candy, empty paper bags, petrichor.
What is petrichor?
Petrichor is that pleasant smell that frequently accompanies the rain after a long period of warm, dry weather.
What kind of music are you listening to right now?
I like the sound it makes when something wet hits something metallic. I don't know what the genre of music is, but I like it.
Poppy, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food is donuts covered in Fruit Loops.
I hear you have a new song coming out.
Yes, we just completed the music video for my new song Lowlives.
What can you tell me about this exciting music video?
There are so many fun things that happen in this music video. The devil even makes an appearance.
The devil?
Yes, he eats a banana.
Who on earth came up with such a strange idea?
It was directed by Titanic Sinclair. What an amazing director.
I am excited to watch this groundbreaking new music video.
I can't wait for you to see all my fun outfits.
We'll touch on the finer points of those interviews in a moment, but first, let's follow that lead given to us by Poppy herself. Titanic Sinclair. Sinclair's name appears in the credits as director for just about every video on Poppy's channel, and a quick search pulls up his website. The first thing you'll notice is something I couldn't quite capture in the screenshot. Upon visiting the site, your mouse cursor will turn from an arrow into the Eye of Providence, the most notable Illuminati symbol that was mentioned earlier. You'll also catch this obviously false quote from Jay-Z praising Titanic. Jay-Z is one of the celebrities most often accused of being a member of the Illuminati. But out of everything, what you should take note of is the short bio statement. Titanic Sinclair is a director/writer living in LA. In case you haven't hit the conclusion already, Poppy is not actually a rising Illuminati celebrity manufactured by occult organizations to further control of the industry. She's a full-scale, ongoing art installation that is a critique and parody of celebrity pop musician culture.
Poppy, what inspires you as an artist?
What an interesting and remarkable question that no one's ever asked me before.
This was the major cipher key for viewers to understand what's going on here. The interviewer is a mannequin, someone plastic to just prop up and perform a task, who asks Poppy a question that she replies to with the most sarcastic answer possible. It's a form of meta-humor. A lot of the videos on Poppy's channel are meta-humor, serving as part of the celebrity culture critique. For instance, Poppy's inspiration coming from petrichor, and her taste for unique food items like donuts covered in Fruit Loops. She's also a complete contradiction from her music. While Poppy herself is quiet, robotic, and monotone in her high-pitched, airy voice, her singing voice has variation, energy, body, and attitude. Listen to any of the songs, and not only will you not believe they came from Poppy, but the lyrics tell a story of being something another person wrote while also being the same kind of generic pop music served on your local radio, full of conflicting feelings, contradictions, a little bit of rebellion, some general audience empathy, and ultimately nothing groundbreaking or introspective being said. Yes, Poppy is an art installation, from her videos to her generic pop music, her image, all of it. But within the art, as part of the story, she absolutely is an Illuminati product. Titanic Sinclair may also be acting in the same way that Alan Resnick did for Alan Tutorial and Live Forever As You Are Now, portraying a fictional character of the same name and appearance as himself while still playing a character. In the storyline of Poppy, Sinclair may truly be Illuminati as well, acting as Poppy's handler. Why would Poppy need a handler? Well, she's not a part of the Illuminati or whatever occult organization is in control of her out of some kind of choice. You've noticed how not human Poppy seems to act, how abstract she is. When I said Poppy is a product of the Illuminati, I meant product. She was made. When it comes to the Illuminati and Hollywood, one of the most scandalous conspiracy theories is straight out of a science fiction novel. The infamous and extremely sinister Project Monarch. The Monarch theory is presented as an offshoot of the abandoned CIA research into Project MKUltra, the attempt to discover the secrets of mind control. The theory goes that Project Monarch is the illicit child of Project MKUltra, utilizing all of the legitimate findings to program corporation-owned celebrities. Candidates for Monarch programming are adopted by the Hollywood system at an early age and put through a series of obscene and highly disturbing practices. These consist of programming efforts needed to mold them into the celebrity desired by the group in control of the child, while also turning them into willing and ready slaves at the mere mention of a code word for the demands of their handlers that are of a much more adult nature. Have you ever noticed a pattern to the way female celebrities who start young in TV shows, movie roles, and clean kid musician faces suddenly emerge after a period of silence as overtly sexual, provocative, and unusually sensual celebrities? Monarch Theory places the blame on their programmers, who condition them to turn from child stars to sex symbols overnight to gain advantage of a new market as a result of aging. Victims of Monarch are said to have unusually polite and reserved behavior during interviews and public outings if it's part of their image at that point, and they may act a little bit odd. Those who fight their programming or don't fully adopt it will act out and become rebellious, often doing insane things caught by paparazzi that they'll never live down. It's also been theorized that this is a form of punishment by the programmers, dragging their puppets through the mud to weaken their resistance before cleaning them up again for a new round of profit. And while Monarch Theory in Hollywood is just that, a theory, something you should take much more seriously when it comes to Poppy's image is a relation that she's trying to push herself. On her channel, Poppy has 3 videos of a cartoon that is heavily influenced by Japanese kawaii culture, and in the text for her videos, you'll notice phrases like kawaii, Japan, Tokyo, and Kyari Pamu Pamu. Kyari is a Japanese idol and an icon of kawaii-sa culture, often referred to as the Harajuku pop princess. Japanese idols like Kyari are the closest you can ever get to legitimate, documented examples of Monarch programming. They're entirely manufactured celebrities by corporations and are sold as models of kawaii culture as well as role models for Japanese youth. They are well-behaved, they are diverse in their talents and abilities, they are educated, and they are meant to elicit extreme devotion by fans, which in turn sells a whole lot of merchandise. They aren't allowed to have boyfriends or fiancés, and if they do, they have to keep them hidden at all costs or their sex appeal will be tarnished and their career destroyed. From Poppy's obvious Illuminati references to her Monarch victim behavior and the attempts to compare to Japanese idols, the image presented is very clear. Poppy is 100% a manufactured celebrity, programmed by a secret group that's either the Illuminati or an organization that deals with them. She exhibits a whole lot of symptoms, and the fake celebrity actions in her videos, both on her personal channel and the Lowlife music video, are obvious critiques of our own Hollywood culture, propping up brand new stars who have literally no audience while still flashing money, jewelry, and adoring fans, being excited about inspiration from odd things, and having unique tastes in food, pushing music that has become generic and commonplace in its approach while not representing the musician singing the words. Even her name is a giant clue. Poppy. Pop-E. Pop music. Pop idol. She's pure pop culture parody. She's Poppy. So, do we need to be legitimately concerned about Poppy the actress? No, not at all. This is an art installation, and Poppy is just a character. And this entire art experience is, in my opinion, truly awesome. It's just amazing! This is some Alan tutorial level of genius at work, and I'm so extremely excited to know it exists. Poppy is the kind of long-term artistic commitment depending on mainstream acceptance and investment I've dreamed about, but didn't think could happen anytime soon. For Island Records to be in on a project this cool and self-aware and actively supporting it is really worthy of praise. I love this whole Poppy experience and can't wait to see what happens with it. And there you have it, Poppy Explained. As creepy as she may come across, you have nothing to be afraid of when it comes to this actress. A word of warning though, if the storyline really is using the idea of Monarch programming, it means that Poppy has been taught certain subliminal code words that only her handlers are supposed to know. If Poppy ever reacts strangely or violently to something a person says, or something she herself says without thinking, take note of what happened and what the word might have been. According to Monarch Theory, every programming subject has a list of words to operate them like a machine. If we have any say in how this story turns out as viewers, finding the right keywords to free her mind will be necessary. I also suspect the reason the social media accounts went up years before they were used is due to Poppy's reprogramming. Whoever she was beforehand online had to be erased. Otherwise, this really was all set up in advance, with Poppy's handlers knowing the accounts would be needed in due time. And finally, if Poppy's character isn't a mind control victim, we can always take the other sci-fi route and assume that she's an android of some kind. The evidence is against it so far, but I am open to that possibility. Either way, just be aware that Poppy is not entirely in control of her own actions and behavior. That's all for tonight. Thanks for joining me in the dark again this evening for a lesson in shady Hollywood occult groups and Japanese culture. Once more, I'm Nick Nocturne, and just like the lyrics to a poppy song you wish you hadn't listened to, I'll be back to haunt your mind again real soon. Sleep tight.